Welcome to Play Your Cards Right. Today we have a special episode, and it's special for two reasons. One, because it was actually requested by Paul Gibson, one of our viewers, and because it's going to be one of the hardest episodes. Because the purpose of Play Your Cards Right is for me to pick less played cards that are typically deemed not good because there are better cards out there, and I have to try and typically come up with a reason to play them. Sometime I may eventually start covering more good cards, especially as I focus on packs like the Andorian ones does contain good cards. However, some of them are less played than they should be, I think. So the card he requested was Advanced Shields. Action! If you still have active shields, place one additional shield token beside your ship. If you take damage this round, remove the shield token first. If you do not take damage this round, discard the extra shield token during the end phase. No ship may be equipped with more than one advanced shields upgrade. It's a Federation 5-point tech. Ooh, okay, so face value, what does a shield mean? A shield is something you can use to cloak. A shield is something you can use to cancel damage. Getting one temporary shield is essentially an evade. I'll get into a little bit more, but there's a structure to this video. So let's look at this card right now. As a 5-point, you get one evade for an action. Well, that might be useful in cases where you don't have an evade action on your ship. Oh wait, almost every ship in the game has an evade action. But hey, whatever. There are some ships that don't, so let's see. Right off the bat, for performing an evade action for 5 points, that seems really expensive. 5 points just to perform an evade action? But, then I thought to myself, I don't actually know how much it costs to put an action bar action. We all know it costs 2 points to get a shield or a hull on a ship, right? 2 points to boost any stat, really. But how much does it cost to actually get a new action bar action? So I decided to do some digging, and I have quite the stack of cards here that I'm going to be running through. So, 5 point. You can typically get the Cloak and Sensor Echo action for 5 points. However, if you put it on the wrong ship, it's going to run you a 10. So that sounds like 5 points for a Cloak, 5 points for a Sensor Echo. That seems about right. Alright, so now let's look. If you just want the Sensor Echo, Sulu for 3 points. If you want Scan, that's another 3 points. Right now, it seems that the average cost is 3 points for an action. Let's go back to specifically the evasive action. Security Sensors is for 5-point Klingon tech. It lets you get the evade, but it is conditional. It does not cost an action, though. Let's look at Tactical Prototype. For 1 turn, you get to become the Tiny Prize, and it is 4 points. Hey, that's cheap. But wait, you also get Scan and Battle Stations, so it's way better. Let's try out Navigational Stations. This one's conditional. The condition in this one is you need to perform Green Maneuver, but you get it for a free action. It doesn't cost an action. 4 points. That's better. Case on Guard. This one might actually be worse because it's still got a condition in that this one gives you an auxiliary power token. It doesn't cost an action, but it's a one-time use for 4 points, so that one's actually on par. Here's a 3-point discard to get 1 evade, but it's also can be used to protect your crew, so that's possibly better. Toral is 2 points, and he lets you convert 1 battle stations into an evade, so he's quality. So Toral is actually much cheaper. So right now it seems that this card is in fact a little overpriced. Harry flipping Kim. Action, disable this card. He's an action disable. That's not good. But he doesn't come with the condition of having to have your shields active. You get 2 evades as opposed to the functional 1 of advanced shields. And you can't roll any defense dice. So if you're putting him on a capital ship, he's better. Data's just better than Harry Kim. He's basically the same thing, same price, but better. Okay, maybe we're being too harsh here. Let's just look at it as a one-time shield. Parametric hull plating, that's a one-time shield. That's better. Immersion, that's a one-time shield. This shield you can do every turn. Okay, how about immersion shielding? That's a shield you get permanently. That's 3 points. Okay, but hey, if that gets destroyed, then you can't exactly get it back, right? With advanced shields, you get it back if you take it again. Well, there's regenerative shielding, which is repairing upgrade. 4 points, 8 points, depending on what you throw it on. There's cheaper repair upgrades. I won't go through them. But right now, it still seems that advanced shields isn't that useful. Okay, well, maybe we're being too harsh. Shields, after all, are more than just damage protection. They're gank protection. They protect you from being robbed and stolen or hit by special upgrades. For example, like, starter set Cag. He can discard a card on your ship, and as long as your ship has no active shields, he can activate. So by putting a shield beside your ship, you're going to be safe, right? Oh, wait. No, that doesn't work. Because in order to use advanced shields, you already have to have active shields. So the shield benefit is useless. Same if you wanted to use this to try and let yourself cloak. Again, useless because you already need active shields. Okay, how about Miles O'Brien? He is an activation phase attack card. So that's cool because you can't roll your defense. But oh wait, no, he doesn't even care about active shields at all. So because he can only attack ships with no active shields. So again, no protection. All right. Well, what about Harvester Prime and the Tamal? These two ships have the somewhat unique ability to turn off enemy shields. So, but they can't turn them all off. So that means if you have more shields, thanks to advanced shields, it will help protect you from these ships. Although at the end of the day, wouldn't an evade just do that? Okay, well, maybe there's something else. Maybe there's another card it can protect you against. How about Cloaked Mines, right? After all, Cloaked Mines damage you regardless of how many evasive tokens you have. Let's see. Alright, so is there any better cards that do it? Well, let's see. There's Navigation Deflector. That's 5 points. It's more expensive, but it lets you disable the card to reduce it by 1 damage. No, that actually seems better, because you can use your action for something else. Okay, well, what about Specialized Shields? Oh wait, that's even better. It automatically cancels 1 damage from a minefield. And it gives you a reroll. And, oh wait, right, you can't take your action before you move. So you would already take the damage from the minefield before you ever got to raise your shield, so that is truly useless. Okay. I mean, it's not like there's any weapons out there that can actually do more damage if you're missing a shield as opposed to an evade, right? Oh wait, what's this? I had to dig through so many cards, but I finally found something. Hypothermic Charge. Vidian ship only. Place 2 time tokens on this card and target the opposing ship. All damage inflicted by this attack ignores the defending ship shields? Well, that doesn't seem helpful. Oh, what's this? What's this? If the defending ship has no active shields, you may reroll any number of attack dice. We found it. The one card in the game that advanced shields protects you against better than any other card in the game. Because this protects you from a reroll. There you have it. The use for advanced shields. If you know with 100% assurance that your enemy is running a Vidian ship and is running hypothermic charge, you know without a doubt you will be protected, at least until your shield is knocked offline and you can no longer use that card. Alright, so let's review quickly. The only use for this card is for protecting yourself from hypothermic charges. And giving a ship an evasive token if it doesn't have an evasive token. Like the big Borg ships. But as we already covered, there's cheaper, better ways to get evasive tokens. Now, it's possible there are other upgrades in the game that do damage like this. Extra damage if you don't have shields, or rerolls if you don't have shields. But I can't think of any. There are maybe 7, possibly? So, at the end of the day, I have to say, unless you have no other options, don't run this card. Oh, okay. So while editing this video, I realized that there are 2 reasons to run this card. Like two main reasons, aside from the blocking attacks that do extra damage or whatever when you don't have shields. So if you are a new player and you bought the 2017 starter set because it's arguably the best of the 2 in terms of value for what you get, and you pick up the Borg starter set, which is definitely not a must-have, but it's the one faction pack I recommend the most, is get the Borg pack. And then you pick up the Enterprise E because it is a must-have for the Federation. Then at that point in time, you will only have 2 cards that would give you additional evasion results on your Borg sphere, because you'll end up with a Borg sphere and they don't have evade. You'll have Admiral Kempek, who I believe gives you 3 evades for destroying a shield, and you might be like, well, that defeats the purpose, I don't want to run that. In that case, sure, throw the advanced shields on. It'll be pretty much your only way of getting the additional hit cancellation on your Borg sphere. The other purpose that I worked out for this card is by far my favorite purpose for it, and it finally gives it couples with Q, the Q female captain. It gives you shields while ignoring the rule of 3. See, there's this rule in Star Trek Attack Wing called the Rule of 3, which says you cannot increase any stat by more than 3. This was to stop dreadnought builds during competitive. And it's honestly not that crazy of a rule. I mean, I don't like it, but I understand why it was made, and so I do play with it. And the way it works is you can theoretically increase your stat by any number, but you cannot get an effective bonus beyond 3. So you can boost your stat by 4, like your attack by 4, and then the enemy can reduce your attack by 1. So you get a max of 3. If they don't reduce your attack by 1, you still only get the max of 3 added onto your attack. Same works for shield and hull. Now, I originally thought that the flagship resource fell under this rule as well, but then I was realizing, is it a stat modifier, or like is it how does that work? And some people in the group confirmed for me that the flagship resource, and I'll throw it on the screen, my shenanigans dreadnought build, we'll call it, the flagship resources are not counted as part of Rule of 3. Other things not counted in Rule of 3 is Borg tokens. So if you add Borg tokens to your card, that does not count in the Rule of 3, and range bonuses are not counted in the Rule of 3. And, as I found out apparently, flagship modifiers are not considered Rule of 3. So this means, and now here's where we get to additional shields. Additional shields is not a stat increase whatsoever. See, the flagship is considered an additional stat, as in it's another set of stats. It is not considered a stat modifier. That's why the flagship resource ignores Rule of 3. And besides, the flagship resource at max only gives you a +1. So with the advanced shields and Q female captain, they both give you a temporary shield token. It does not change your shield stats. Instead, it just gives you the extra shield for a one-off. This means if you have a way of getting a free action, such as Legacy of the Name, you can trigger both of them to get 2 extra shields. Now, couple that with the +3 from any number of types of shield upgrades that can give you bonuses. In this case, I just went with the Unimatrix shielding and systems upgrade. And then you add on the flagship resource. You can boost a ship's shields for 1 turn up to 6. Now, I would recommend doing this build with the NX-01 Enterprise. Now, I don't own it. I would have it in this video, but I don't have it with me. It hasn't gotten to my house yet. But, yeah, you throw that on, because that ship has 0 shields. So you're bringing a 0 shield ship that's dirt cheap to now a 6 shield ship. And it would have to be the NX-01 Enterprise and not the ISS Avenger, which I do own, because Legacy of the Names free action only works with Enterprise named ships. So there you go, an actual good use for the card Advanced Shield. So after all that time making a flippin' 10-minute satire video about how dumb the card is, I actually figured out a good use for it. So yeah, there we go. That's why you would want to run Advanced Shields.